So a very good evening to all. As we gather today for the sixth session in the series of lectures organized by MEU India to honor the stalwarts of medical education with the Dr. Rita Sood Memorial Oration and Lifetime Achievement Award, I am profoundly delighted and feel honored to be given the opportunity to welcome and introduce a distinguished doyen of medical education, our very own, very dear Professor Dr. Thomas V. Chacko. Thomas, sir, as we all PSG famously call him, hardly needs an introduction. A man of distinct vision and a fountainhead of illuminated ideas. His knowledge and experience is an inspiration for many of us. Presently, Dr. Thomas V. Chacko, he is Professor Community Medicine and Dean Medical Education at the Believers Church, Hospital and Medical College in Kerala. Sir has formerly been the professor and head of community medicine at PSG IMSR Coimbatore and also head Department of Medical Education at PSG IMSR Coimbatore. Sir is also the founder director of PSG FAMER Regional Institute at Coimbatore, India since 2007. He is the executive committee member of the Southeast Asia Regional Association of Medical Education and has been its past Secretary General from 2011 to 2017. Sir has been the past President and Executive Committee member of the Academy of Professional Educators. He is also an external expert, academic senate, advisory committee member of several universities in India. There is also the course director for program evaluation under the Singh Obama Knowledge Initiative for master's degree in HPE at MUHS, Pune, Nasik, and University of Michigan. Sir has also been an international consultant and expert committee member under WHO for teaching of public health, primary health care in Southeast Asia region, under UNDP and FPA Bhutan for in-service competency-based training of health workers, for the World Federation of Medical Education for revision of WFME basic standards to improve quality of medical education, for the Ministry of Health Iran for convincing deans about applicability of WFME standards in Iran, and under World Bank as an external expert for reviewing and recommendation for the recognition of University of Padjadjaran, Bandung, Indonesia. In addition to these, Sir has several scholarships in public health and medical education. He's been instrumental in developing the WHO guidelines for improving teaching of public health in medical schools, for WHO for recognizing centers of teaching excellence, as an editor and reviewer of several national and international journals, and he has several scholarly publications in public health and medical education. In addition to this, there are many book chapters on educational scholarship and program evaluation by Sir, and he has also hosted the International Conference for the Southeast Asia Region Association in Medical Education and NCHPE 2012 in Coimbatore and National NCHPE 2017. In addition to these, Sir has conducted capacity building workshops at international conferences, to name a few, in China, Canada, South Africa, Brazil, and various Southeast Asian countries, in addition to all the national conferences since 2000. I welcome Dr. Thomas Chacko for his oration on quality improvement in medical education, efforts at individual, institutional, and national level. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Amrit. Then stop share screening. I will try.
Yes, sir, I'll do that.
I'm muting everyone. Sir, you can unmute yourself.
Oops.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining in for this oration, and thank you organizers for honoring me with this award. First of all, I take this opportunity to dedicate and offer my acknowledgements for many people and institutions that have contributed and molded me. First and foremost, Dr. Rita Sood. I came to know her as she was a 2005 fellow at Philadelphia. I was her immediate senior there, and that was the first time I came to know, and it was nice and continuing relationship with her. Then when I was inducted into CERAMI Executive Committee, that time she was made president, and I was the Secretary General. So it was a long association together in Southeast Asia Regional Association for Medical Education. I will share some more pictures with her for all. Another important dedication is to my alma mater, Government Medical College, Nagpur. And Nagpur is known for its teachers. Although a government medical college, I have not seen any teachers as dedicated and role models as in GMC Nagpur. So my salutations to them. Then I offer my dedication to PSG Institute of Medical Sciences and PSG Charities. They provided me with professional growth and leadership opportunities, and I could grow there. I was associated with them for 28 years. My salutations to FEMA. They brought me up and made me grow in medical education. And from a simple teacher, I became a scholarly teacher and a leader. And my current institution, Believers Church Medical College, is the new lab where I try my mentoring of the faculty in this new institution. So this is the first picture. Rita, after she became president of CERAMI, she also was member of the academy, and she hosted the first national conference in medical education in 2007. And in the picture, you can see many of the stalwarts, and they are the energy bundles of the field of medical education. Myself and Rita were members of the CERAMI, and we had long and many fruitful associations. And this picture shows CERAMI members along with the network of Medical Council in Southeast Asia region for collaboration. This is my PSG and Sons Charities. I'm showing this picture because it is a well-known name in South India, and we are fully dedicated to the cause of education. And it's a real charitable organization. As part of the 20-year celebration of PSG Institute of Medical Sciences and Research, they organized the Vision 2020, 20 to signify 20 years of establishment of PSG Medical College and their commitment to quality. And we were fortunate enough to host the then president of the World Federation for Medical Education and invite all the vice chancellors of all the southern universities, health universities in India. And together, through group work, recommendations emerged. And the picture shows the declaration, we can say Coimbatore Declaration of WFME. And then after the PSG, Feinberg Regional Institute was established in 2007, this on completion of 10 years of PSG, we had a celebration and memoirs of all the fellows who are alumni. They had written their reflections. So coming to today's topic, the quality of medical education. It is important to differentiate quality from quantity, and especially sometimes it is because of the quantity that the quality suffers. So the main concern is patient safety. So rapid and mass production, everybody is aware of that. The concern is, are they job ready? So they can answer MCQs, but not competent to manage cases at primary care level and in ambulatory settings, or to provide leadership and manage health teams and manage national programs. Also, there is a question mark about international acceptance of the graduates. They have passed, but they have passed from outdated exams. Exam is conducted, but whether the examination itself is designed to test what they are supposed to know. So quality assurance is important for patient safety, and all measures are needed, and we should have a thorough understanding. And for that, the UK Higher Education Agency has given this definition: the totality of systems, resources, and information devoted to maintaining and improving the quality and standards of teaching, scholarship, and research, and of student learning experience. So the various critical components of the standards, the quality standards, are clearly laid down, and that is very important. And the differentiation between quality assurance and quality improvement is, in order to improve the medical education in a systematic and effective way, quality assurance is the first step on the way to quality improvement. So once quality is assured, then we go on to improve the quality further. So quality improvement is a continuing and dynamic process to review, critique, and change. This component I'm emphasizing because sometimes in our accreditation systems, not much emphasis is given on quality improvement. So we will come to that later. So basically, quality is measured against standards. And to have standards, and what type of standards determine the quality. So we have different standards by World Health Organization, by UK GMC, and we have our own new standards, minimum standards for India, medical education in India. How do these standards emerge? They emerge from good practices, and they are collated by educational experts who share the good practices, and what is good is then identified and written down as the standard, and they are needed for patient safety. There is a shared concern internationally, and that has been highlighted in the Lancet Commission report about the qualities of graduates, because now medical graduates all over the world, they are living in an interconnected world. and that is migration of healthcare practitioners. And so it is a shared concern. To understand what goes into quality assurance and what produces the outcomes, the competent medical graduate, the graduate attitude, what type of a doctor is being produced, is this graduate the one to whom we would be happy to be treated by, and then the values and whether they are also engaging in reflective practice and continuing professional development. That's the outcome. For this outcome, the systems approach lists the inputs and the processes that are needed, and it is important, and the output is determined by the input and the processes through which the students go through, and they are all very important ones. Our study of the document, the NMC or MCI standards document, reveals that it is mostly how much input is there, with the assumption that if sufficient inputs are there, then the processes and outcomes will happen. So that's a big assumption. Whereas other agencies, like even in India, NAAC, National Accreditation and Agency Council, and the World Federation for Medical Education, not only takes into account the inputs, but also the processes, because it's the processes that determine what happens and what learning happen, the type of student assessment, the feedback they receive, the student support that is the students receive, mentoring happens or not, educational environment which enables them to learn, other activities that build their personality and humanities, social service, makes them professional, and then opportunities for leadership and governance of the institution, and support that the institution provides for faculty development and things like that. From the study of different accreditation agencies, I could study the GMC of UK, and it is truly a comprehensive measurement. It does a measurement of all inputs, processes, and even outcomes, as well as the alumni. So they are all, the data is collected from all these levels, and it goes into the system to make sure that the quality improves. So that is the thing, those standards and outcomes. Which of these agencies measure what they are measuring, and whether it reflects quality? So the World Federation for Medical Education, based on good practices, and it listed its standards in these headings, and you will observe that many of them are good practices. They should be there, and it gives details about each of these different areas, and as a result of that, the output and the outcomes become better or assured. So this is an illustration of the standards, and then basics. Each of those standards have a basic standard and a quality development standard. So there is clarity, and that they are numbered, so that when an assessor comes and does the verification of compliance of the organization, they refer to each of these numbers. And WFME has moved on from these standards to principles-based standards, which assume that it is important to measure the outcomes. And when those outcomes are achieved, then it doesn't matter what inputs are there. So that's the modification. And the other latest thing is the ECFMG has a 2024 deadline, wherein USMLE only students from councils recognized the WFME will be admitted for post-graduation there. So this is my memory of being part of the WFME and the WHO meeting, which discussed the quality, what we can learn from global good practices. Ultimately, all of them, including inputs from students, they go into the formation of standards and policies. This is another interesting opportunity for me when one of my alumni from PSG, she was from Iran, and she presented a important problem when she was hosting in the international WFME conference in Iran. The problem and the dilemma was in Iran, the deans were they were reluctant to use WFME, it's a global standard. Their concern was, is it applicable in the country? And so, as part of an academic leadership workshop, all these deans were sitting across the table, and they discuss applicability of WFME standards in Iran. I used appreciative inquiry, where the WFME, each of the various WFME standards, they compared, and they were inquiring amongst themselves whether these things are already happening. And the discovery was that, yes, indeed, they were doing all these because they were good practices. And so it established that WFME standards are nothing but good practices, which are applicable not only in a particular country, but in most countries. And based on that, I could bring out a publication to share the value of appreciative inquiry as a discovery tool to facilitate change. So the change was brought about in the workshop, where attitude did change and acceptance happened. So quality, whose responsibility? It's easy for us to point to the country or the nation and say it's the responsibility of the country. But as you see, the other fingers are also pointing towards us. It's an institutional responsibility equally, as well as each one of us are individually responsible for quality. And what it means, quality is fitness for the purpose, satisfying the need. And we have the Indian medical graduate. Quality as transformation, that is continuous improvement, and our idea is to ensure patient safety. Competency, quality as excellence. So and the achieving of the highest standards, competent graduate, not only locally, but also internationally. And quality as value for money and cost effectiveness. And in India, we have said the Indian medical graduate is a one basic doctor for primary healthcare. The Lancet Commission lays out the comparison of traditional model as well as the competency-based education model. And why I'm showing this is to show that the change in curriculum from our traditional curriculum to a competency-based curriculum is itself a quality improvement endeavor. Because in the traditional curriculum, it is the educator who determines the curriculum. Whereas in the needs-driven competency-based curriculum, competency outcomes are derived from health needs of the health system. And so that itself will produce outcomes and products who will deliver quality care. And for improved quality, our MCI and NMC rightly identified faculty development, and we have a massive faculty development initiative where mostly it is orientation of the faculty to the new curriculum. And little higher level is for some of the faculty to go on and develop instructional design, various instructions and skills, and also attitudes and research skills. And then we have the FAMA Fellowship, which is a leadership and change management program, which goes into various components, and it is across career medical teachers as well as evaluators of medical education. Even though faculty development was highlighted in the country, certain regions, there was report that the faculty are not interested in faculty development. So Purnima, who is from Northeast, a FAMA fellow, she said that when there is a call for training, teachers are reluctant. And so, teachers are reluctant because there is lack of patronage from the higher ups. And so we held a state level advocacy meeting with the Director of Medical Education in Assam. And as a result of this, all their question and answers we could satisfy. He's the DME there. And he was kind enough to host this meeting, and most of us could satisfy the questions that were and concerns raised by the faculty members from all over the state. And I was the president during of the Academy of Health Professions Educators in 2017, and after that advocacy meeting, we were successful in November to successfully host and benefit people from not only Northeastern region, but also the whole of the country. Another concern is regarding, are we measuring what we should measure? And so it is important that systems should be measured, the resources and the teaching and the scholarship of the teachers, the research and the student learning experiences, all these should be measured. And the reason being, what gets measured improves. So it is important to identify and include all factors that influence the quality, not just inputs. And so there is a case for recognizing academic scholarship. This article was there in the editorial on Journal of Pharmacology and Pharmacotherapeutics as an advocacy for moving away from discipline-based research to academic scholarship and research and medical education. And to some extent, medical education has been accepted as a scholarly work of a teacher and included in the essential qualification for a teacher. So these two papers are myself and Himanshu, we have submitted as advocacy papers to state the case for a more comprehensive use of standards so that the accreditation agency measures what it is supposed to measure, that is the factors that influence quality, for us to reach and attain quality, which is not only acceptable to people, it results in patient safety, but also our graduates become internationally acceptable. So I have divided my talk into what we need to undertake at the institutional, national, and individual level. So qualities are also our institutional responsibility. So those of us who are in charge of our institutions, we must recognize that MBBS degree in its current or immediate current form is a shared concern of all stakeholders. The patients are concerned whether the MBBS graduate will be able to diagnose and treat. The parents, before they send their student to the MBBS degree program, they are concerned whether this MBBS program conducted by a particular medical college, is it recognized? Is it return on investment? Is MBBS enough? Because the patients may not go to the MBBS doctor if they don't have the confidence. And then they also have, the parents are also concerned that if their wards graduate from a particular college, will they be able to get a PG seat? Will they have the stuff to be able to pass the exams? So quality also means for the institution, not only the Indian medical graduate, but the institution has to ensure that the institution's vision and mission statement are being fulfilled. So it's not enough to concoct fancy mission and vision statement, and unless they are realized, it is not meaningful. And the quality also means that they should be the highest standards and the preferred choice for admission. So that makes sense, financial sense, and at least quality improvement, and then the state as well as, because when they become the preferred choice for admission to their institution, that institution fares better in each subsequent year. So it is of interest for the institution to excel. And for an institution to excel, we have the Baldrige framework, which also includes kind of a systems approach where the results of the output are influenced by all the inputs. So the students' academic processes, academic products, and their worth in their employment market, then the institutional management and decision-making processes they influence, and the academic staff, the quality, all that, and the resources. So unless all these are provided and guided by the institution's vision and mission, they cannot achieve excellence. Excellence for the students is also, it is important for the institution to get feedback for action. So student need to say what they would like to know. So the questions, we could prepare a questionnaire for feedback, and then they give their additional inputs as to what is important for them. And then consultation processes and educational experts, their role is there, and then student feedback would carry meaning. In our institution, we have devised a student feedback form based on the teacher attributes, whether he is a motivator, role model, good assessor, what methods. So there is a description of the desirable attitudes which are listed, and then the students give feedback. And the process is, of course, meant not for punishment, but for improvement. So when the concerned teacher gets the feedback, they are in a position to improve themselves. So faculty development is for the institutions, the teachers are important. The quality of teaching and the role of faculty development. This has been listed in the core recommendation of American Association of Medical Colleges. We are all familiar with Hardin's 12 roles of a teacher. And so faculty development programs must make the teacher able to do the other functions as well. Sometimes most teachers are experts in their own discipline, and they are simply information providers. And they need to graduate and expand their repertoire. And so we need, the institution need to conduct faculty development programs so that to help the teacher grow. As an important leader of the organization, within the organization, it is important that we help create the vision for the future. And we need to make the faculty future ready. And we tried this at PSG where the faculty were taken through a crystal ball gazing exercise long back, and they were told to go into the future and see how students are studying and what study skills they were having and what methods they were using in the future. And based on that, this exercise of time travel, it also got published. The gap in the faculty capacity became clear, and based on that, faculty development programs were then planned. So we have a similar thing in my current institution, and we have a series of monthly workshops on various aspects for faculty development, so that we take the teachers who are now here through the faculty development program to become better. And after they have gone through, we also encourage them to engage in reflective practice. Reflect on what is it that they need to study more and develop more. And then they engage in continuing professional development. They reflect what is their gap and what is it that they need to plan to bridge that gap. Then they implement their personal and professional development plan. And then they also plan how they will know that they have bridged the gap. This is just to encourage the institution to have a policy support for recognizing and rewarding faculty who engage in scholarship and teaching and learning. So scholarship of teaching, why India should promote it for promotion, was published, and it indicates institutions' commitment to scholarship and teaching, a commitment of the accreditation agencies to recognize scholarship of teaching and learning, because the purpose why teachers are teaching is mainly to improve the learning of the students. And the scholarly way of that is scholarship of teaching. And also we have to influence policy wherein leadership positions, equal importance is given not to research as well as clinical practice positions. Sometimes there is a lack of support for educators in leadership positions, whereas more importance is given to researchers as well as those in clinical practice. This is to highlight the value of program evaluation in quality. And the program evaluation initially is to scrutinize an ongoing program, which could be a curriculum delivery, and then find out and initiate remedial measures, and that is compared, and then you implement. And that from program evaluation to quality assurance to patient safety. So this I have shared as part of the book chapter on program evaluation, and all that is, it leads to, it contributes to quality assurance and institutional excellence. So program evaluation has to be an ongoing process. The UK Council lays a lot of emphasis on quality assurance, internal quality assurance cell. So quality assurance cell has to be there, and that is a requirement. And the recognition is that if an organization has an internal quality assurance cell, then they will be at the process of continuous improvement. And so it's not an activity only when the assessor or inspector comes from the accreditation agencies. So for continuing professional development and other activity, quality improvement activities to happen, it is important that this cell is there. And so there is need for educational research, program evaluation, and also there is a case where medical colleges and universities in India need to maintain and improve quality. There is a case for external education expert, because this external education expert, having faced similar challenges, brings perspective from outside the local context. Local experts are also there, but sometimes they don't see obvious things like halitosis. They are not themselves aware of what is wrong. So when you bring external educational experts, it is an added advantage. Besides, there is cross-fertilization of ideas and dissemination of good practices if we bring external education experts. And review of, they can also do the review of internal quality assurance cell or audits that are happening. So this is the quality improvement in the at the institutional level, so that it's not just a one-time readying for inspection or assessment. Another function of the external educational expert could be review of efforts that are being taken within the institution and readiness for accreditation. I had the opportunity to go to Indonesia, University of Pajajaran, where under the World Bank funding to Indonesia, they were helped to implement WFME standards. And as part of this assignment, I used WFME standards, then compared what were the findings of the quality assurance cell, the local one, and then verified for myself for evidence that it was indeed so. I also had the opportunity as part of CERAMI and WHO to contribute to scholarly work to improve the teaching. Guidelines have become published. Teaching of public health in medical schools was also a concern because there is a lot of scope for improving teaching of public health. I also got an assignment for improving and coming up with in-service training for primary healthcare in Bhutan, where initially I was asked to review the existing capacity of the organization providing in-service training and then recommend what capacity building their faculty need to undergo. And then later develop and recommend a system for in-service training. Their condition and fear was that the healthcare providers, they are solo workers. So if they are called away for training, then the service to the beneficiary suffers. So in-service training, but capacity building, how? So that was possible for me to suggest. Then within the country, patient safety and quality, there was opportunity in, by Manipal University, and photo shows all the alumni from PSG, FRI, who also participated in that national consultation being here. All this is possible only when we have a community of practice. If we just have capacity building workshop and after that you are leaving the trainees alone, then they find it difficult to translate their learning into action. And so to translate learning into action, it is important and useful for the organization. There are short-term benefits and also long-term benefits to the organization. And some of the ways in which this community of practice can be introduced, I have tried is the faculty Gmail groups and faculty WhatsApp groups. And especially after attending a workshop on a specific purpose, those who attend, they are included in a WhatsApp group, and then they will share what problems they had in implementing. Somebody else in the group would have overcome those problems. And so through this community of practice, they are helping and seeking help. So that is why it is called a community of practice. Usually experience shows that Gmail has to be combined with WhatsApp group, because WhatsApp is now a habit and we check our WhatsApp more frequently. It is of course important and critical to start with a face-to-face session where you know who is behind the mail and the message. Then another important thing that we at the institutional level should support is holding faculty retreats, because it is important that we celebrate the success. Whatever we are implementing, the changes that we are implementing, whatever success we get out of it needs to be shared so that we are motivated to achieve more. And such good practices are shared during the retreats, and also you share what worked for me so that others get ideas and how to overcome the problem. So community of practice is important. And now to the final part of what is it in that we individual faculty need to do, and what quality means to the individual. Quality translates into patient safety and a competent graduate. And it also helps, we should take efforts on our own to enlarge the scope of our capabilities, from being a simple information provider to resource developer. There's a big science out there about development of research, resource modules, self-directed learning, then course planning, your specific course design, assessor, curriculum program evaluation, mentoring, facilitator, role model. All these areas need to be improved, and individually we should look into the feedback that we receive from the students to identify our areas for further professional development as a teacher. We can also use to do a self-reflection on our lesson plans, use the Gagné's 9 events to improve our instructional design capabilities. We could also scrutinize our teaching and learning to ask a question. So initiation of research and engage in continuing professional development as a teacher. And it is important that we join a community of practice within the institution. It could be the MEU Google group, it could be the national conferences. And at these events, you get to know what's happening amongst educators, our fraternity in the rest of the country, or internationally, or in the Southeast Asia region. And from awareness, it gives us hope and motivation to start implementing. And when you attend these conferences, there are a lot of pre-conference workshops that are laid out, and you can choose to register. And the next national conference is going to be at Dehradun, which is a place that is nice to be with. And it's a good place for us to meet and share our joys and sorrows. A community of practice brings energy, and we share and know from each other. And that also gives us chance to climb up our scholarship ladder from simple poster presentation to research manuscripts to being invited for educational awards internationally. So these are some of the action photos of the international conferences. This is one in Brazil, and it is important that we develop our own up the ladder. One bite at a time, we can't finish the apple in one bite. So quality important of what efforts. To sum up, at the national level, there is a need to broaden the standards from inputs to processes and products. Each nation should contextualize the standard as they apply to the country. Continuing quality improvement should be an important component of the standards. Whether that is happening or not should be checked, and it should be encouraged. And assessors who are knowledgeable in processes and output rather than just headcount should be identified and appointed. And at the institution, each institution, the leadership, what efforts should be taken at the institutional level so that the institution becomes an institution of excellence. So what is critical is internal quality assurance system must be in place. An internal educational quality officer needs to be appointed, and the educational research and program evaluation efforts should be initiated so that there is evidence generation as well as measurement of attainment of the stated activities and outputs. Academic program audits should be in place, and that should be the starting point for continuing quality improvement. And the institution needs to support faculty development programs. It should create supportive environment and policy for rewards and recognition, and initiate and sustain a community of practice so that the faculty can practice what they have learned, and invite possibly an external education expert who can provide additional inputs. So a combination of all this will be synergistic. For us individuals, we should start reflecting on our practice, our teaching practice, and it should be a habit. Use student feedback as one of the ways of identifying a gap in our practice teaching practice. We should start mentoring our colleagues, those who can, and strengthen formative assessment, which is very critical for the CBME curriculum. An internal audit quality assurance system, engage in education research and program evaluation. So all of us individually on our own, we should engage ourselves in our own field of influence, education research and program evaluation, and invite educational expert to guide us and be active in the community of practice and seek and give help. So my journey started in 1989 when I joined a training of trainers or training of teachers program way back when I had joined as a new teacher in PSG. Then I was entrusted with being the chief coordinator of the medical education unit. And then as a result of the various activities, in 2002, I was able to competitively become selected for an international fellowship in medical education, FEMA fellowship, that I could do at the University of Illinois at Chicago. And as a result of all that, the FEMA Regional Institute was started in 2007 at PSG. And I am here now today receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award. It makes me feel very old, but I feel young. I am thankful to the organizers for recognizing the efforts I have taken. But my journey and mission continues, mainly to mentor and help others. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas Chacko, for the brilliant scholarly talk. In fact, I had the opportunity to read your paper published in National Medical Journal of India last week only. And I'm so happy that you are trying and putting your effort for a very long time now to maintain the quality and standards of medical education in the country. We feel honored to select you for this award. And can I request Dr. Sanjay Bedi to please present the Dr. Rita Sood Memorial Oration Award to Dr. Thomas Chacko?
Thank you, sir. So, share screen. We feel proud to present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Dr. Thomas Chacko, and along with this, we also provide the we are grateful to you for accepting the Dr. Rita Sood Memorial Oration. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you for presenting this award. It is always gratifying to receive from fellow colleagues and fraternity. When your fellow colleagues and fraternity recognize you, nothing like that. So I am very thankful for all my colleagues and fraternity within India and abroad who have given me great love and affection and provided me an opportunity to be of help to them as well. Thank you very much.
So thank you once again, Dr. Thomas Chacko. And I thank all the participants and audience who have very graciously joined this occasion. So next month we'll bring you another oration. Please stay tuned with it. So have a nice day. Good night.
Good night.